Good Friday evening, March 21st, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The Omi Gardens Friends Society has launched a GoFundMe to restore the park after it was impacted by a windstorm last month. Democrats in the Washington State Senate have come out with their proposals to bring in more money to balance the state budget. 12 to 18 inches of snow is possible tonight and into Saturday morning for Stevens and Snoqualmie passes. I'll have your full local weather forecast coming up. The first man to be sentenced after an online sting operation that targeted child sex abuse will serve 15 months in prison. 26-year-old Jacob Ryan C. of East Wenatchee was sentenced on Thursday. He pleaded guilty in Douglas County Court to attempted indecent liberties and immoral communication with a minor. C. was among 12 people arrested in a net nanny sting operation carried out last summer by the Washington State Patrol. Police say he and other suspects responded to phony online solicitations that offered sex with a minor. Judge Brian Huber imposed the 15-month sentence, which was recommended by the Department of Corrections officers. C. must also register as a sex offender once released. Another East Wenatchee man who pleaded guilty in the sting, 50-year-old Mark Allen Ashmore, is due to be sentenced this summer. A vehicle fire in the 1400 block of South Wenatchee Avenue was quickly brought under control today. The flames were reported just before 11 a.m. in a disused vehicle lot just north of the Wenatchee Safe Park. Wenatchee Valley Fire Department crews were able to control the fire and stop its spread within about 15 minutes of arrival. Traffic on South Wenatchee Avenue had to be temporarily diverted by way of Crawford Avenue. A similar fire broke out in the same vacant lot last September. The city of Wenatchee is hosting an open house next week for residents to learn more about the North Wenatchee Avenue Corridor Improvement Project. The city says it's worked with the Washington Department of Transportation and other agencies to identify improvements to North Wenatchee Avenue for over a decade. The project aims to improve safety and mobility for pedestrians and vehicles along the corridor from north of Holly Street to Horse Lake Road. The project will install wider sidewalks, landscape buffers, a raised medium, U-turns at signals, and a mid-block U-turn and pedestrian crossing. Attendees can meet the project team, ask questions about the project, and view design. The open house is set for Wednesday, March 26th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the City Hall Council chambers. Democrats in the Washington State Senate have come out with their proposals to bring in more money to balance the state budget. They're proposing new taxes on the wealthy while also changing property and sales taxes. Albert James, a Murrow News fellow covering Olympia, walks us through the tax changes and how the proposals are being received on the other side of the aisle.
Senate Democratic budget leaders Thursday released long-expected plans to bring in new revenue to close the state's multi-billion-dollar budget gap over the next 4 years.
Voters are really interested both in making sure that wealthy people and businesses pay their fair share of the tax burden in our state, and that they don't want to see vital services cut.
The proposal has 5 parts. First, implementing a tax on people who have over $50 million worth of stocks, bonds, and other certain financial assets. Democrats are also proposing a payroll tax on large employers similar to Seattle's Jumpstart tax. They also want to change the cap on property tax increases. They call the current growth limit of 1% arbitrary and instead propose a combined rate of population growth plus inflation.
This will help ensure that our local communities have the revenue to reflect the actual cost of providing public safety and community protection services for their communities.
The fourth proposal is to eliminate tax exemptions that have been deemed by auditors as ineffective or obsolete. And while it would reduce the amount of revenue brought in by the state, they're also proposing reducing the state sales tax 0.5% to 6%.
As cost of living is rising, Washington's current regressive tax code puts an additional strain on households that are really struggling to meet their basic needs. And this proposal reduces that disproportionate impact.
In all, the Senate Democrats say the proposals are set to bring in $17 billion over the next 4 years for schools, health care, and other state services. Senate Republican Budget Lead Chris Godon argues the new taxes are unnecessary to sustain state services and lawmakers need to limit spending instead. He took issue with Democrats saying they're targeting the wealthy while also opening the door for property tax increases.
That will directly fall on the backs of working families, middle class, people who are trying to get by, and it will also be a pass-through cost to renters across our state who are already struggling so much.
I reached out to the governor's office if he had any comment on the tax proposals, but didn't hear back Thursday afternoon. Democrats say they've been keeping Ferguson updated on their budget progress as the governor has made it clear he wanted to exhaust spending cuts first before talking new revenue. Now, the spending that all this revenue is going to go toward is still being ironed out. House and Senate Democrats are expected to release their own separate budget proposals on Monday. Senate Republicans released theirs last week. Everyone has to come together to pass one single budget out of the legislature by the time session ends on April 27th. At the state capitol in Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
When we come back, the chair of the Colville Confederated Tribes spoke up this week on efforts by the Trump administration to remove published historical information about Native American veterans. And Manson firefighters got a training opportunity recently while also helping a landowner clear some intrusive brush. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect, no matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
What are the best words you can hear tonight?
Order ready for Susan?
And if you hear those words at Abby's, you know it's going to be a legendary meal. Your pizza is loaded with toppings to the edge, premium ingredients, and real cheese. Yeah, baby. Gather with friends, play some video games, and watch the big game on TV. That's made Abby's a legendary pizza tradition for generations. And when you're ready to hear those magic words,
Tom, your order's ready.
you know where to go. You're always welcome at Abby's.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
The chair of the Colville Confederated Tribes spoke up this week on efforts by the Trump administration to remove published historical information about Native American veterans. The Department of Defense this month removed numerous pages from its website about American military heroes of color, including Ira Hayes, the Pima Indian Marine who participated in the raising of the U.S. flag at Iwo Jima. The removal followed President Trump's directive to unravel diversity, equity, and inclusion guidelines at federal agencies. Colville Chairman Jared Michael Erickson released a statement Tuesday saying in part, quote, "It's not any kind of race-based political statement to recognize the valor and achievements of Native American servicemen and servicewomen. All soldiers should receive the honor they have earned." The Omi Gardens Friends Society has launched a GoFundMe to restore the park after it was impacted by a windstorm last month. The damage to the gardens included 15 toppled trees and disrupted walkways. Earlier this month, a helicopter assisted in the cleanup of damage on the cliffside of the garden where several large trees fell. The group says the helicopter service is a substantial cost, but is the only way to remove trees without causing further damage. The raised funds will go directly to the helicopter services, restoration of the damaged landscape, and also general cleanup and debris removal. The link to the GoFundMe can be found on the NCWLIFE website. Manson firefighters got a training opportunity recently while also helping a landowner clear some intrusive brush. Chelan County Fire District 5 put its members and volunteers to work on a controlled burn on private property. About 15 personnel from the agency participated in the burn on private land near Manson. The project was coordinated by the Cascadia Conservation District, which works with private property owners to manage land with ecologically sound methods. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we will tell you about the latest business trends sweeping the country, record stores, and the new one opening soon in Cashmere. A winter storm warning is in place for the Cascades through tomorrow morning. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
It's the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 13th to the 23rd. Check out the enormous selection of both new and used RVs, motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, with huge incentives, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. Top manufacturers are coming from across the country, like Winnebago, Holiday Rambler, Forest River, Thor, Flagstaff, Grand Design RV, and more. And enter to win $30,000 or a new RV. Get $3,000 over NADA for your trade, paid for or not. So come on down to the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 13th to the 23rd.
When the owners of the Side Street retail complex in Cashmere decided they were interested in having a record store on the property, local music enthusiast John Maynard was happy to step up to the plate. John is a musician and record enthusiast with a broad knowledge of the field. His new store, Cashmere Records, will open on April 12th and offer a wide variety of genres. In tonight's feature story, Maynard told NCWLIFE News his main qualification to run the store is simple, an obsession with music.
It was something that the Thomases were wanting to have at Side Street and had been talking about trying to get someone to come in, and it became an idea, or it was suggested that I would be a good person to do it for quite a long time, and then eventually I just kind of came around to the idea. But it started with Side Street already having the idea for getting a record store in this building and on the project. I'm a major music head, and everybody was just kind of like, you know what, we need somebody, you should do it, you know? So I think it was literally just they know that I'm obsessed, that I'm at home with my records anyways, you know? So basically what I plan to do is have new and used records, cassettes, DVDs, CDs, which are surprisingly cool with young kids right now, and live performance DVDs, VHSs, stuff like that. And my hope is to be able to have some kind of niche stuff and go a little deeper into genres for your like record snobs and, you know, people like me who are looking for something real deep, and then also carry, you know, like stuff that's mainstream and stuff that, you know, the average person walking through can dig, as well as be able to like set people up with a record player setup, and they can walk out with the whole thing. You know, someone comes in with their family and they're like, this actually looks cool, and they want to. I want them to be able to walk out with everything. So we're gonna try and be a full encompassing record shop, you know, and event space. I plan on doing some live performances in store and stuff. But in terms of style or genre, it's gonna be all over the place. I have been a performer in the Valley. I'm not anymore at this point, but I was a full-time gigging musician in the Valley for a while, so I have quite a few friends in the Valley, and also have some, you know, from the West Side and stuff, and lots from back home in Texas and stuff that tour. So I'm hoping that within 6 months at the latest, I'll have at least one artist a month. And I'll just kind of keep that going. But as my friends come through, or as artists come through, or people reach out to me if they're on tour, I'll have 3 a month if I've got them. April 12th is going to be the grand opening. As we will be doing something, we'll be doing like grab bags for the first so-and-so customers, and stuff like that. And I am working on trying to get a live performance situation going for that. We have nothing nailed down exact, but it will be a fun day for sure. Yeah, we'll be opening at 11 a.m. I never saw myself doing something like this, but I saw a want and a need in the community in this valley. I saw how far people have to go to a record store, and I just saw this community starving for more community based around music. When I saw a teenage metal band playing at the Cashmere Farmers Market, I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. People loved it. They were shopping for carrots and listening to teenagers play Slayer, you know, and I think I just want this space and this business to be a hub, another hub, and another can of fuel for that. And I think Side Street, the whole concept is based in putting money in your neighbor's pockets and like kind of coming together as a community, you know. And I think that music is one of those unique ones that can bring all different kinds of people and the rubbing elbows, you know. And obviously in these times we absolutely need that, you know.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you ended the work week on a high note. We did see lots of clouds out there and rain showers in the Wenatchee Valley throughout our afternoon. Those light showers began about 1 or 1:30 this afternoon. And boy, you can see all of the dark clouds outside our weather window up on our Lake Wenatchee tower cam from this afternoon. And that's just the start of this storm that will be moving in. Lots of snow is expected in the Cascades through tonight and into tomorrow morning. Look at both Stevens and Snoqualmie passes, 12 to 18 inches of snow. We are talking about an inch of snow per hour beginning tonight on Stevens Pass. So needless to say, winter driving conditions throughout the Cascades over the next about 12 hours or so, with that big snow amount expected in the Cascades. High temperatures today, a little bit below normal, 50 unofficially. We hit that about 1 o'clock. And then when it started raining, we dropped down to about 46 degrees and stayed there pretty much throughout the day. Our normal high for this time of year is 54 degrees. Our record 72. Doesn't that sound nice? That was set back in 1960. 34 this morning, right in line with our normal low of 35 for this time of year. 25 our record low, and that was set in 2002. As of about 3 p.m. this afternoon, we've picked up about 6/100ths of an inch of precipitation from this storm. We do expect more this weekend, so we'll have that updated for you when we get together again on Monday. Sunrise 7:01 and the sun sets at 7:16. All right, the important weekend, and let's get into it. Temperatures tomorrow, a lot like today. No rain in the forecast tomorrow, with temperatures about seasonal. 55 rather for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 54 for Quincy, and then low 50s from Ellensburg, Wenatchee, Entiat into Chelan. Omak, you'll see about 53 degrees, 50 at Leavenworth, and 51 the high temperature for your Saturday afternoon for you folks in Cashmere. All right, tonight we can expect mostly cloudy skies. Here's the area of low pressure that's bringing us the rain shower activity. It's dragging some clouds and showers with it as it heads to the east. We will see just isolated showers tonight with low temperatures in the mid-30s. Getting you into the weekend, mostly cloudy skies, but you can see a ridge of high pressure over the Pacific Northwest. It will allow some clouds to move in Saturday, but it will keep us pretty dry for the most part Saturday, maybe breezy with high temperatures in the low 50s. And then for Sunday, we expect cloudy skies, a very strong southwesterly flow tapping into that Pineapple Express, and we could see about a 50 to 60% chance of rain on Sunday. High temperatures Sunday afternoon in the mid-50s. And then, are you ready for the warm-up? Partly cloudy skies on Monday. A big ridge of high pressure sets in. We will see highs Monday afternoon into those low 60s, and it's just going up from there. For Tuesday, high clouds. That's that gray you see around Washington State, but boy, is it going to be beautiful. Unseasonably warm Tuesday. High temperatures in the upper 60s. Columbia Basin, you'll be in the low 70s for Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies. That ridge will hold on for one more day before this huge area of low pressure moves in, and that'll bring us some thunderstorm activity Wednesday afternoon with some rain showers. High temperatures still mild on Wednesday into the mid-60s. And then for Thursday, this area of low pressure takes hold of our weather. We'll see more of a westerly flow into Washington State and about a 40% chance of rain on Thursday. Cooler too, with high temperatures generally in the mid to upper 50s. All right, 7-day forecast, 34 degrees overnight tonight. For your weekend, mostly cloudy both days, breezy for Saturday, a decent chance for rain on your Sunday, 52 Saturday, 54 on Sunday. And then look at how we start next week. Partly cloudy and 62 Monday, all the way up to 67 degrees on Tuesday. And then a chance for those afternoon rain showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday with 66 our high. We'll get back to closer to normal on Thursday with a slight chance for rain. High temperatures then 57 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
The Wenatchee Bighorns are back in action against the Seattle Superhawks on Saturday, March 22nd, and NCWLIFE channel has you covered. Join Grant Olson and Jamie Council with all the action at W.B. Smith Gym on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. Our pregame starts at 6:45. Follow the Wenatchee Bighorns all season on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
Happy Finally Friday. Cashmere graduate Haley Van Lith will play in the second round of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Her TCU Horned Frogs defeated Fairleigh Dickinson today, 73-51 to advance and have a chance to face her former team, Louisville, in the second round coming up on Sunday. Haley got into early foul trouble but stayed around to contribute 13 points and 7 assists in the win. Teammate Madison Connor finished with a team-high 23 points. We'll tell you about her cousin, who is quite the pole vaulter, a little bit later on. Well, the Washington women lost a heartbreaker to Columbia in the first 4 last night. The Huskies lost a 13-point halftime lead, but still had a chance in the closing moments.
Eladine, all parts of that rim were touched. Katie Henderson going at Sellers, working baseline, tapped away. Got to go up in a block by Daniels, another shot clock violation. A 2 will tie it, a 3 gives Washington the lead. Sellers couldn't connect, and Perry Page gets the rebound. Up top it goes to Ella. Oh, wow! Eladine with the triple. A lot of time coming off. A 3 is needed. Eladine again, back iron. Perry Page hit the ceiling for that rebound. Time left, 1.7 as a heave for Eladine. Just short, and Columbia keeps dancing.
A person only had to watch the first 5 minutes of Gonzaga's first-round game against Georgia last night to know it would turn out in favor of the Zags. Bulldogs will play number 1 seeded Houston tomorrow in the second round. That'll be at 5:40 on TNT. Seattle Kraken continue their road trip in Alberta tomorrow. Seattle's trying to bounce back from being shut out by Minnesota Wednesday with a game at Edmonton against the Oilers. They'll drop the puck at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That's on King 5 and Kong TV.
The Wenatchee Wild finish up the 2024-25 WHL season this weekend. They'll no playoffs in their future, so Wenatchee will finish with a game tonight at Everett at 7:05, then tomorrow night at home at the Town Toyota Center at 6 o'clock. Well, your other hometown team, the Wenatchee Bighorns, pulled off an exciting win last night in TBL basketball action. Wenatchee held off a feisty Vancouver squad for a 97-95 victory at Wenatchee Valley College. Grant Olson had the call on the NCWLIFE channel as the game came down to the final seconds. Afterwards, Jamie Council spoke with Chris Cromartie and coach Matt Briley.
Minute 17 left to go, fourth quarter. Richardson, jump step into the lane, tough layup, good. 1 point, Wenatchee lead, 94-93. Richardson dribbles in the backcourt, now to the free throw line, gets away with a push-off to the basket, shot no good, and the rebound into the hands of Washington. Down court, the dunk, I don't think it's going to count though. Cummins, I think he was fouled before he went to the basket. Cummins has not attempted a free throw yet tonight. Here's the first one, on the way, good. Second free throw on the way, good. This to make it a 2-point Bighorn lead. Free throw on the way, good. It's Richardson with it. I'm thinking Richardson or Banks will take this last shot for Vancouver to try and tie it up. 7 seconds, 6 now, 4 seconds. Richardson still on the dribble. 1 second, Richardson forces one up, no good, and that will do it.
Chris Cromartie finished with 29 points, including a three-pointer in the final 2 minutes. Talk about that final stretch, grinding it out to get the 2-point win.
The only thing that I was thinking about in that moment was I just missed 2, and the biggest thing was shoot it again. I felt like my team had faith in me. I heard them on the bench telling me, and I shot it and went in. And that's all it was, confidence. My team had confidence in me. That's what we're trying to figure out up here. Confidence, teamwork.
We knew it was going to be a dogfight. Coming out of halftime, we knew they was going to come with a different energy. And we came and we executed a little bit more defensively. We just picked it up. I mean, that's you want to try to blow guys out. You want to try to dominate. But at the end of the day, a win is all that matters. And you keep working on things going forward. And I'm proud of the guys for getting this win.
Wenatchee's back at Smith Gym at WVC tomorrow night to host the Seattle Superhawks. Grant Olson and Jamie Council have the action with our pregame at 6:45 here on the NCWLIFE channel. Well, we talked earlier about Haley Van Lith. Haley is not the only Van Lith family member to be athletic. Haley's younger cousin, Caden Andre Van Lith, is a junior pole vaulter at Eastmont High School. Last weekend, while competing for Spokane Speed Academy at the Nike Indoor Track Meet in New York, Caden set a school record in the pole vault, clearing 15 feet 6 1/4 inches. He placed 4th overall and received an All-American honor for his efforts. Congratulations to Caden Andre Van Lith. Well, let's get you up to date on what happened in the scoreboard and what's coming up this weekend. First of all, in baseball, Okanagan edged Manson 9-6. Sultan crushed Cascade. Brewster beat up Lake Roosevelt 20-3. There are 2 games today, Moses Lake and Hanford. Cashmere hosting Quincy. Coming up tomorrow, weather permitting, we will have Ephrata hosting a doubleheader with Aberdeen at 11. Manson visits Lake Roosevelt for 2. Tonasket hosts Liberty Bell in a twin bill. Brewster plays twice at Bridgeport. Chelan hosts 2 against Okanagan. Eastmont is scheduled to host Bothell. Wenatchee swept Ellensburg in softball in a doubleheader yesterday. The Panthers won that one 10-3 in the opener, 12-2 in the nightcap. Conner Benton swept Quincy 17-1 and 12-zip. Tonasket took down Omak 13-2 and 13-7. Sultan won a high-scoring affair against Cascade 23-18. Waterville Mansfield edged Bridgeport 6-4. Coming up today, Brewster visits Lake Roosevelt. Then coming up tomorrow, schedule anyway, finds Chelan facing Ferris in Ephrata at 9 a.m. Then they'll turn around and play Freeman at 12:30. Eastmont's at Richland at their mixers starting at 10:30. Cle Elum hosts Cascade at 11, while Manson's at Lake Roosevelt, and Tonasket takes on Liberty Bell. Okanagan is slated to host a doubleheader with Kittitas at noon. Ephrata will battle Orting at 2:15. Brep soccer last night on the boys' side. Moses Lake blanked Ephrata 4-0. Cascade got by Eastmont 2-1. Davis and Quincy played to a 0-0 tie. Royal stopped Cashmere 2-0 2-0, and Othello shut out Chelan 3-0. Okanagan edged Manson 1-0. Tonasket hosts Colville tonight. Then coming up tomorrow, schedule has Brewster at Manson at 11. Othello hosts Quincy at noon, while Ephrata welcomes East Valley. Cascade visits Toppenish at 1, while Cashmere is hosting Wahluke. Newport visits Tonasket, and Omak hosts Bridgeport. Eastmont plays at Chiawana at 2, while Okanagan is hosting Colville. That's a lot of sports news. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great weekend.